George Martin built Stannis as a figure of ancient tragedy. His role in the outcome of events was meant to be fundamental. He is the only king who recognized the true threat and put everything on the line, including his soul. The groundwork in the books promised us a grand finale, where this man's decisions would change the landscape of Westeros forever. But the showrunners decided such complexity was superfluous. They turned the great strategist and mystical chosen one into expendable material. Instead of allowing Stannis to play his key role in the battle for Dawn, his arc was cut short in the most absurd way. In the dirty snow, under a birch tree. That was the end of great Stannis Baratheon in the series. In the books, however, things are far more interesting. Stannis isn't just trudging toward Winterfell, he's playing a complex chess game. Instead of burning everyone in sight, he recruits the northern mountain clans, retakes Deepwood Motte from the Ironborn, and with an iron grip unites those who hate the Boltons around him. Every action is the cold calculation of a strategist who knows war is won not only with swords, but with logistics, alliances, and knowledge of the terrain. He doesn't take his daughter and Melisandre into a snowy trap. He leaves them at the wall, safe within the Night's Watch, under the protection of powerful wards and a garrison. He also tasks Davos Seaworth with going to Skagos, where Rickon Stark is likely hiding, to later install him as Lord of Winterfell. These actions show Stannis as a calculating player who still hopes to restore order to the world of the living through laws and dynasties. He builds his strategy on loyal men and clear goals. Many readers root for Stannis, but let's be honest, he won't win, and we have every reason to think so. The saga is filled with hints that his contribution to history will be negative. Moreover, Stannis may become humanity's greatest traitor by siding with absolute evil. Let's understand who Azor Ahai is. According to ancient Eastern legends, thousands of years ago, when the world was gripped by the long night, a hero emerged destined to defeat the darkness. To forge his weapon, he made a great sacrifice. He plunged his sword into the heart of his beloved wife, Nissa. Her soul and blood tempered the steel, creating Lightbringer, a flaming sword that brings light and heat, dispelling any cold. The prophecy says Azor Ahai will be reborn amid salt and smoke when a bleeding comet appears in the sky. The Red Priestess Melisandre declared Stannis to be this chosen one. She performed a striking ritual on Dragonstone. Stannis pulled a glowing blade from the fire, which he now wears at his belt. For his soldiers and supporters, this became undeniable proof. Their king is a living god, a messiah they must follow to the end. Stannis, being a deeply rational and even atheistic man, accepted this role not out of religious ecstasy. For him, it was another heavy duty. His reasoning is simple. If the world is doomed and I am the only one who can save it, then I am obliged to do so, whatever the price. The problem is that in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, prophecies are treacherous traps. And if Stannis builds his destiny on a false light, then in a moment of true despair, when this divine light fails him, he will be ready to accept any other power capable of delivering results, even if that power comes from the deepest darkness. Stannis is simply a man mistaken for the prince that was promised. Yet a far more intriguing and frightening idea is that he is the complete opposite of Azor Ahai. He is the champion of the Great Other, the Night King, a false light that will lead Westeros into darkness. To begin, let's put forward several key points. Stannis is not religious. He sees religion as a means to achieve his goals. Stannis possesses an exaggerated, even unhealthy sense of duty. Stannis is cast iron, strong but brittle. He breaks but does not bend. Time and again, Stannis proved himself capable, strong, and worthy, yet he never received recognition, rewards, or gratitude. He held Storm's End with a meager garrison, eating rats and cats, thereby tying up the Tyrell forces and allowing Robert to win the war. Yet Robert's gratitude and all the glory went to Ned Stark, who simply arrived and accepted the castle's surrender. He took Dragonstone for Robert, but Robert was angry that Stannis allowed Dany and Viserys to escape, though it wasn't his fault, and gave Storm's End to Renly. He crushed the Greyjoy fleet. He served 14 years on Robert's small council. He actually served, unlike Renly, who just occupied a seat and traded quips with Littlefinger. He was the only one in the realm to question the parentage of Cersei's children. He launched an investigation, involved Jon Arryn, and tried to uncover the truth. Yet Robert chose Ned Stark as his new hand. He saved the Wall from the wildling invasion, likely saving Westeros, perhaps the entire world, from the others. Yet even after that, the Northerners did not rally to him. Only the small clans in Karstark, who plotted betrayal, joined him. Notice a pattern? Time and again, Stannis does what must be done, yet gets nothing in return. With each instance, he grows more resentful of the world, but continues to press forward. But one day, the cast iron king will break. a man wronged by the world, repeatedly struck by undeserved, cruel blows of fate. And then his unhealthy vision of justice will come into play. The Iron Throne is mine by right, and all who deny that are my enemies. The whole realm denies it, brother, said Renly. Old men who take their last breath and babes still in the womb deny it. They deny it in Dorne and on the Wall. No one wants you for their king. The answer likely lies in this quote. Since no one will support him, then all of mankind are his enemies. This is what will lead him to the role of the Night King. Stannis already sees that not only fire, but ice possesses immense power. And as we know, for Stannis, religion is merely a means to an end. After the victory over the wildlings at the Wall, Stannis attempts to raise an army in the north. He visits the mountain clans, persuades their chieftains, and finally marches on Winterfell to drive out the Boltons. The march is grueling. Snow falls relentlessly, food runs out, horses die. The army stalls a few marches from its goal. Stannis realizes that in open battle, his exhausted men will lose to the enemy's fresh cavalry. So he decides to use the terrain itself. He stops at an abandoned village between two lakes and, instead of praying or waiting for a miracle, begins preparing a tactical trap. Inside Winterfell, chaos reigns. The castle was hastily rebuilt, freezing cold, and an endless blizzard rages beyond the walls. Hundreds of armed men are confined in one hall, each eager to kill the other. The Boltons have gathered allies under one roof who despise them. The Freys openly insult the Northerners, while the Northmen, Manderly, Umber, only await a chance to spill Frey blood. Bodies keep turning up, someone knifed on guard duty, someone found in the snow. Tension is so high that a cross look can spark a brawl. Roose Bolton tries to keep control, but even he knows there's no loyalty here. Amid this chaos roams the singer Abel with his washerwomen. No one suspects they are Mance Rayder, whom Stannis supposedly burned at the Wall. In truth, Melisandre secretly saved him with magic, and now the king beyond the Wall works for Melisandre and Jon Snow right under the enemy's nose. His women cut down sentries at night, sowing paranoia. Bolton's men grow afraid of their own shadows, thinking a ghost haunts the castle. Mance's target was the so-called Arya Stark, a terrified Jane Poole, whom Ramsay abused. Jon ordered Mance to save who he thought was his sister. When the blizzard outside grew so thick that one couldn't see their own hand, Mance made his move. While his washerwomen died fighting the guards in a diversion, Theon Greyjoy grabbed the girl and leaped with her from the high wall into a massive snowdrift. They survived. Half frozen and bloodied, they were picked up by men of Moor's Umber and raced to Stannis' camp. One faction of Umbers is loyal to the Boltons, another to Stannis, placing them in an advantageous position regardless of who wins. Stannis Baratheon set up his camp in the abandoned village of the Crofters, wedged between two frozen lakes. He commands about 5,000 men, remnants of exhausted southern knights and the hardy northern mountain clans, for whom a snowstorm is home turf. He turns geography itself into his advantage. His plan hinges on calculated traps. By the king's order, fishermen and soldiers cut hundreds of holes in the lake ice, camouflaging them with a thin layer of fresh snow. The lake's center becomes an invisible sieve, capable of supporting a foot soldier but doomed to collapse under the weight of a heavy cavalryman. To ensure the enemy advances onto the killing ground in near-zero visibility, a massive bonfire is lit on an island in the middle of the lake. This false beacon becomes the only landmark for the advancing Freys, luring them onto the thinnest ice. Alongside battle preparations, Stannis must also deal with treachery in his own ranks. Arnulf Karstark, who had joined him earlier, planned to stab the king in the back during the battle, hoping to curry favor with the Boltons. However, Stannis learns of the conspiracy through a letter delivered by the banker Tycho Nestoris at Jon Snow's prompting. Stannis gives no sign until the last moment. He summons Arnulf, his son, and grandsons under the pretense of a war council, then immediately arrests them. Thus, he neutralizes the internal threat before the first war horn sounds, robbing the Boltons of their main ace on the battlefield. Stannis wrings from Theon everything: how many men the Boltons have, who might betray Roose, how Winterfell's defenses work. But most importantly, he understands that the Boltons cannot stay behind their walls forever. Food in the castle is scarce, and the hatred between Freys and Northmen is about to explode from within. And so, it happens. Roose Bolton, knowing paranoia and hunger will soon provoke a mutiny inside the castle, decides to send his most unreliable allies out the gates. He orders Sir Aenys Frey and Lord Wyman Manderly to attack Stannis' position. For Roose, it's a win-win. Either they crush Stannis or they die in the snow, ridding the castle of extra mouths and the threat of uncontrolled slaughter. When Winterfell's massive gates groan open, the heavy Frey cavalry spills into the white void. Aenys Frey, blinded by rage after the killings of his kin inside the castle, drives his horses forward without scouting. Behind him, keeping their distance, ride the Knights of White Harbor under Manderly's banners. The blizzard is so thick that the riders can see only a few feet ahead. The only landmark in this frozen hell is a distant, flickering light. The false beacon Stannis ordered lit on the lake island. Ramsay Bolton watches the departing troops from the walls, confident that Stannis, worn down by cold, cannot withstand the assault of two fresh armies. He does not suspect that he has just pushed his own men into a preset trap. The Freys charge headlong into the snare, clad in heavy steel that will soon become an impossible burden. While Ramsay awaits news of triumph, Stannis on the far side of the lake orders his archers into position. When the Frey horns sound the attack, the blizzard hides the deadly danger from them. Sir Aenys Frey's heavy cavalry, guided by the false beacon, gallops at full speed onto the lake ice. Stannis waits until the last moment, letting the vanguard ride deep into the trap. Under the weight of hundreds of knights, the ice riddled with holes begins to shatter like thin glass. Horses and men in heavy armor plunge instantly into the icy water. Those who try to scramble onto the slippery shore are methodically shot down by Stannis' archers and the mountain clans hidden among the coastal brush. At this critical moment, Wyman Manderly's forces, following the Freys, execute their true maneuver. Instead of aiding their drowning allies, the Knights of White Harbor strike them from the rear. For Manderly, this is long-awaited vengeance for the Red Wedding. Caught between Stannis' ice traps and northern swords, the Frey contingent is annihilated within minutes. Wyman Manderly, meeting Stannis in person on the bloody ice, delivers the banners of his house and proposes a plan to end the war with one stroke, capturing Winterfell without a protracted siege. He understands that in the endless blizzard, the only way to take the castle is to trick the Boltons into opening the gates. The king orders his men to gather the armor, shields, and intact banners of the fallen Freys. The plan is simple and audacious. Stannis intends to fake the return of a victorious army. For added credibility, he uses the Karstarks, who were supposed to betray him, and the Manderly cavalry, officially considered Bolton allies. Stannis mixes his elite troops with the Northerners, ordering them to conceal their heraldry under frost and road grime. A massive column of storm-battered warriors moves toward the walls of Winterfell. Due to zero visibility and relentless snowfall, the sentries on the towers recognize only the familiar standards of the Crossing and White Harbor. At the column's head, Stannis has them carry a captured sword, a fake Lightbringer, to make Ramsay Bolton believe the king is dead. As the army approaches the main gate, Wyman Manderly gives the prearranged signal. Blinded by the blizzard and confident of victory, the castle's defenders raise the portcullis and lower the bridge. As soon as the vanguard enters the gatehouse tower, the victors instantly drop their disguises. A short, bloody fight erupts. While the main Bolton forces inside prepare to celebrate victory, Stannis' men and Manderly's forces seize the gate mechanisms and block the barracks exits. Within minutes, Winterfell becomes a trap for the Boltons themselves. When the last pockets of resistance in Winterfell are crushed, Stannis Baratheon does not hold lengthy trials. To him, Roose and Ramsay Bolton are not just enemies, but oathbreakers and monsters whose very existence defiles the North. Stannis, true to his harsh morality, decides to end the history of the Dreadfort in one stroke. By the king's order, two great stakes are erected in the castle's inner yard before the Great Heart Tree. The entire garrison and the surviving northern lords, Manderly, Umber, Glover, gather to witness the end of their tormentors. Roose Bolton maintains an icy, almost eerie calm until the very end. He walks to the pyre as if it were just another formality, uttering no plea. Ramsay, stripped of his dogs and his power, thrashes and howls like a trapped beast, cursing Stannis and everyone present until he is forcibly chained to the stake. Stannis steps forward with Lightbringer in hand. In the torchlight, the blade glows with an unnatural cold light. For the king, this is not an act of vengeance. It is the execution of law and a sacrifice to the Lord of Light for the victory in the snow. For treason, for the Red Wedding, for defiling the North, I sentence you to be purified by fire. His voice rings out, dry and emotionless, cutting through the wind's howl. But as the pyres begin to die down and the crowd disperses, one of Stannis' knights approaches him. He brings a man from the dungeons, his face hidden beneath a hood. When the captive lifts his head, Stannis feels something break inside him. Before him stands Mance Rayder, the man he himself, with his own hands, sent to the pyre at Castle Black months ago. whose screams in the flames thousands witnessed. Stannis remembers the heat of that pyre, the triumph of law carried out by his command. But the dead man breathes. He looks at Stannis with a crooked, pained smirk, a man who knows the truth. Fragments of the past flash through the king's mind. Melisandre's strange behavior, her vague talk of masks and shadows, her certainty that Stannis is Azor Ahai. The inner feeling that has never failed this stern legalist now screams of catastrophe. This is no miracle. It is betrayal. Stannis grasps the terrible truth. Melisandre, his only mystical ally, has lied to him from the very beginning. She didn't just spare an enemy, she turned royal justice into a cheap farce. The king's blood sacrifice that was supposed to wake dragons and give Stannis the power to defeat Winter was a sham. His sword Lightbringer, now gleaming in the twilight, suddenly seems not a divine gift but a shameful brand of a deceived fool. He did not burn the king beyond the wall. He made no sacrifice to the gods. He merely participated in someone else's masquerade, obediently playing a role scripted by the Red Woman. The blow is so severe that Stannis is momentarily speechless. The inner sense that always whispered of betrayal now crystallizes in the icy certainty. He has been betrayed by all. Melisandre and Jon Snow, who was clearly complicit in the deception. But Stannis would not be a Baratheon if he let shock break his will. He slowly raises his eyes to his knights. His voice, when he speaks, sounds like cracking ice. Bring them to me, both of them, the priestess and Snow's bastard. Alive or dead, I care not. They will answer for lying to their king. As his riders change horses and race back through the blizzard toward the wall, Stannis begins doing what he does best, restoring order. Winterfell, once a Bolton den, becomes a grim military camp. Stannis personally inspects every cellar, every tower. He does not celebrate victory. He methodically cleans out the remnants of chaos. Marauders are hanged without preamble, food stores are counted to the last grain, and the northern lords, accustomed to freedom, suddenly find their new king tolerates no dissent. Stannis drives law into the stones of Winterfell with such fury, as if trying to anchor himself while the ground of prophecy crumbles beneath him. But the more order he imposes without, the less remains within. Stannis realizes his life is not a divine plan, but a chain of manipulations by the Red Woman. He feels the iron certainty in his own righteousness, which carried him from the Blackwater to the wall, beginning to crack. Every hanged marauder, every measured grain ration is merely an attempt to prove to himself that law still exists, that the world can still be fixed. Yet the cold in Winterfell's halls does not relent. The northern lords obey, but in their eyes, Stannis sees not loyalty, but expectation. They await not their king, but the one who will come after him. Stannis feels it in his bones. He took the castle, but the castle did not accept him. He won the battle, but lost the essence of his purpose. In those days at Winterfell, Stannis Baratheon begins to harden into stone. He stops sleeping, spending hours in the Godswood, looking not to R'hllor's flames, but into the empty eye sockets of the heart tree. His faith in the light burns out, leaving behind only ashes and a frozen resolve. The first part of his journey, the journey of a man who believed in duty and light, ended here, in a captured but unwelcoming Winterfell. Stannis does not yet know that Davos has found on Skagos the one who will make him finally superfluous. Nor does he know that at the wall, Jon Snow's blood has already been spilled. The king awaits his traitors, and as he waits, his soul soaks up the cold of the north. The just king is dying. Something else is being born. But from here on, the picture becomes much less clear. It's unlikely the Northmen would openly challenge Stannis, not after he's given them the vengeance they were looking for. However, northern loyalty is a complicated thing, and the political situation is getting more tangled by the day. Beyond this point, it's harder to speculate. The further we go, the more we move from established facts into the unknown. We'll try to untangle the rest of this theory in part 2. In the meantime, subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments.